Today, we get to talk with a game-changing coach who's up as a finalist for the Dave Campbell Texas Football and Ballogy Game-Changing Coach Award. And we're going to talk all about what makes him a leader of men, building leaders for tomorrow, and a game changer. All that and more today on the Ballogy Elevate Your Game podcast. And welcome to the Ballogy Elevate Your Game podcast. Today, great guest with me from Midland, Greenwood High School, Coach Bryan Hill. Coach Hill, thanks for taking time.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on, Sean. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first off, congratulations on being a finalist with our Dave Campbell Texas Football and Ballogy Game Changer Award.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored. I was able to see the list of finalists, and to even have my name in that list is humbling. And I cannot thank you guys enough for considering me and adding me to that list.
Man, you bet. And it's well-deserved. And we're going to get into a little bit of that right now so that our listeners and your fans and community can celebrate some of the things that you're doing. And I know that, we don't like to toot our own horns as coaches, but this is going to be one of those days that we're going to do that. So listen, in your experience so far in your career, what role do you say football shapes in building young men as leaders?
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. Football is, in my opinion, the ultimate team sport. It takes a lot of mental acuity from above the shoulders, but it also takes some mental and physical toughness. You have to put the team before yourself, and all those lessons you learn through not only just the football games, but the practice, the preparation. All that is applicable to life after football, whether you enter the workforce, you go to college, you enter the military, trade school. All those lessons you learn in football are applicable to the different career endeavors that our players take on after they graduate. And, our hope for our program is the things they learn at Greenwood, specifically Greenwood football, help them become better men, better fathers, better husbands, better, productive members of society after they leave our locker room.
Absolutely. And without getting into any real details specifically, but how would you say that you teach accountability in your program that sticks with your players for life?
One thing that I share with our coaches before we start every year, and I got this quote from Bill Parcells, is accountability is not something you do to someone, it's something you do for someone. It's been my experience, especially young coaches. I struggled with it myself, was being the bad guy and playing that role of, making a kid do exactly what you ask him to do. Early on in my career, I really struggled with that until I kind of embraced that role of, you may let something slide now, but he's going to have to pay, a huge price for that later on in life if he doesn't learn that lesson as a 15, 16, 17-year-old young man. And so I feel like our staff does a tremendous job of holding kids accountable, not to be mean, not to be the bad guy, but because when they are 28, 38, 48, 58, the lesson they learned in our program about not being late, about sitting at the front of the classroom, dressing appropriately, acting appropriately, those lessons that they learned as a member of the Greenwood football program will pay huge dividends later on in life.
And absolutely. You hit on something that I've always preached in my career. What we allow or what we tolerate is what we allow, and what we endorse. And
absolutely.
And it's so true, whether you're quiet or active in it, what we tolerate. And so I appreciate you saying that. So if I could come into the Greenwood locker room before you got there and I said, man, guys, tell me about Coach Hill, what are those players going to tell me?
Well, it probably depends on which player you ask on a given day. It may be incredibly positive or incredibly negative. But so I don't know exactly how to answer that, but I hope they would say that there's a hardcore foundation of discipline in this program, and it's the little things. And we talk to our players all the time. In our locker room, our helmets are hung on the right side, our laundry clips are on the left, and our shoulder pads are on top. Does that make you a better football player? No, not at all. But the ability to come in when you're tired after a hot day on the practice field and still execute at a high level, even little things like helmet on the right, laundry on the left, shoulder pads on top. When we call up any coach, when we call up our team from 7th grade to 12th grade, everybody's toe is behind the white line, not on it, not in front of it. Does that make you a better football player? No, not necessarily. But if I can trust you to put your toe behind the line, then I can trust you in the fourth quarter to, make a game-saving tackle, to block down on a 3 technique instead of block out on a 5 technique. I can trust you to carry the ball with 5 points of pressure. If I can count on you to do the little things right, then we can trust you to do the big things when the game is on the line. And that's what I hope our players would say about our coaching staff if you were to ask them when we weren't there.
Well, and that's a tricky question. That's one of those that, I don't know what my players would say the same thing. I know this. The real answer to that is, what will they say in 5 years or 10 years? Because you hit on that earlier. It's the lessons and the leadership that we teach later on where they really appreciate. At 16, 17, 18, they may not appreciate it, but man, those lessons are being put in there. And then you hit on something that has been so close and dear to my heart in my career. And that's little things. Little things win games.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
The Greenwood community, I can already tell you, Coach, is blessed to have you because you have spoken about little things quite often in 5 or 6 minutes already.
Yes, sir. It makes all the difference in the world. And to your point, you hit on something. Notre Dame coach in the 30s, they won the national championship. And after the game, a reporter asked him about his team. Tell me about your team. And he said, I can't answer that now. Ask me in 10 years. And if they go on to be productive members of society, good people, good husbands, good fathers, then it was a good team. And if they all go on to fall short of that standard, then we may have won the championship, but it wasn't a good team. And so I think you hit the nail on the head with that as well.
Yeah, man. And you're out in West Texas, Midland, man, some storied programs out there and quality football and athletes. I want you to brag on your school for just a minute. Tell me the great things about Greenwood High School.
Well, Greenwood, the community is fantastic. Obviously athletics is very, very important to our parents and the members of our community, and our players know that. But our school district has wonderful administrators, wonderful school board. The academics are at a very, very high standard, and athletics follows suit. We always say that, the academics makes the school, but the athletics is kind of the front porch, as you're walking in, what it's going to be about. And so I cannot say enough about our community. Our bonds have passed. They've done a great job supporting the academic side as well as the athletic side. And so it is, without a doubt, a very, very special time to be a Greenwood Ranger and Rangerette, no doubt.
I love that. And, a lot of times as coaches, we get a bad rap, sometimes fairly, sometimes unfairly. But for our teachers and our staffs, for some of your teachers at Greenwood, would you speak real quickly to how you are their biggest advocate, how you are their biggest asset as the football coach and the leader of those young men?
Absolutely. I think athletics is just an extension of the classroom. And to be frank, without the science, social studies, math, English, language art, without that side, there is no football team. There is no extracurricular. There are no extracurricular activities. And so I feel like we try as a staff to have a great working relationship with the classroom teachers. We support them in ways, we try to support them in ways that may not be we try to support them in various ways. We build strong relationships with our kids, as do they. And some kids relate better to the coaching staff, and some kids may relate a little bit better to the biology teacher. And so when we see a kid struggling on the football field, we may call that teacher and say, hey, will you check on so-and-so? And in the same breath, you know, a kid that's struggling or falling behind in biology, they may call the football coach and say, hey, so-and-so was struggling today. Will you give them an extra hug on the way out the door? And so we try to build a strong relationship with our classroom teachers and our student athletes alike.
Nice. And I love the little slogans or logos or mottos or yearly focuses. Do you guys have something like that for this year, Coach?
You know, I think that's something that we kind of pride ourselves is, you know, it's actually on the door of the coach's office is the pride and winning tradition of the Greenwood Rangers will not be entrusted to the weak or the timid. And that's it may be a little bit long-winded. It's hard to put that on a t-shirt, but you know, anytime you're going back to the accountability piece, you know, the weak or the timid, that doesn't mean how much you can lift in a weight room or being scared of the dark. That has everything to do with being strong enough to do the right thing when you're facing peer pressure. Means being mentally tough enough to do the right thing when sleeping or skipping is easier. Showing up and working as hard as you can in both the classroom and the football field or court or track or whatever that may look like. And that's kind of how we try to run this athletic program.
Yeah, I like that. I'm already a fan, Coach, of the Rangers, just listening to you talk, the integrity, the little things. I mean, I'm already a Ranger fan, so I think listeners will be excited to watch you guys. And, man, we would love to project about, I don't know, what is it, 15, 16 weeks, and put a ring on your finger. That'd be awesome. But what is success? How do you define success, whether for the year or for the career?
So our goal as a program, we've kind of narrowed it down, is to win the next game. You know, and right now the Childress Bobcats are the next game, so that's the most important one, and we'll deal with the rest of them after that. But I think defining success looks like improving every week. And if we have a great first week, but we fail to improve after that, it's going to be a long season. But if we can get incrementally better at every position across the board, then I think the Rangers are going to have a good year. So we're excited about that. That's what we preach. And if you get a chance, come on out. We'll give you a hat and a whistle, and we'll put you to work.
Man, don't give me a whistle close to the field, man. I tend to help officials do their job a little too much. But I really thank you for your time, Coach. Like I said, I'm already a fan, and I appreciate everything that you've talked about. I think your community, your school can be very proud of who Coach Hill is and leading the program as a game changer. And that's why we say very well deserved. We want to toot the own horn today that you are a game changer in your community. You're a game changer of your young men. We know that you're building leaders in the community there at Greenwood High School.
Well, thank you so much, Sean. That really, really means a lot to me. And I am honored to be at Greenwood. It's a fantastic place to live and work.
That is great. And we will be excited to watch the voting go through the season of the Game Changer Award for the one big prize at the end. But you're already a finalist, and we'll be getting recognition of that. And so we want to celebrate that with you at different points of the year. And so we'll be talking again and look forward to seeing that. So good luck in your season, Coach. And again, congratulations on being a Game Changer finalist.
Thank you so much. Go Rangers.